this morning, but I am late. Okay, let's go. I'm going to bring my channel up on YouTube here. Hello. It's Jolene. Welcome back to the Home Stitchery Decor YouTube channel. I am going to make soup bowl cozies today, and I'm hoping this live is coming up. On my channel. Let's go back. I told a bunch of my regulars yesterday that I would be here today. So here we are. We'll wait for a bunch of you guys to get on. And there should be quite a few. Let's just see. I need to get out of YouTube, obviously, because this isn't working. Good morning. It's Jolene with Home Stitchery Decor. We're going to sew soup bowl cozies here. I'm just bringing you guys up on my big channel, on my big screen television, so I can see the comments a little bit better. One of my regular viewers was sewing some soup bowl cozies and was having some issues with them. So I said, why don't I do a live and just kind of help her along, and some of the rest of you guys can watch as well. So that's what we're gonna do. I just have to bring my channel up, and we'll wait for a couple of people to get on here so we can explain the process. And it's gonna be, I don't know, a couple hours. We'll see how long we go here. Here we go. I found the video, so now that part's good. Good morning. How is everybody? Connecting to the live chat. All right. Welcome. Okay, so what are we going to do first? We'll kind of get things set up to sew while we're waiting for a couple of you guys to get on. Hello, good morning. Good morning. So we are going to sew soup bowl cozies here. And this is a product that I sell all the time in my craft markets. And one of my regular viewers was having some problems figuring out how to do it efficiently. So I said yesterday, while we were doing another live, that I would get on here this morning and just kind of walk her through how to chain piece all of this. Okay. On this channel, we do not interact with spammers. So that's just a general rule of thumb. So this probably isn't going to be the channel for you people, because we've got better things to do. And I find it actually funny sometimes. All right. So we're going to use, the first machine I'm going to use is my Singer Confidence quilter machine. And I'm going to do a serpentine stitch on this as soon as I get it set up. Hopefully it'll work. This machine is pretty old and pretty grumpy, but it does work. So once it gets going, it will be okay. The stitch on this is number 16. All right, we're going to get it working. All right, where are my regular girls? You should be coming on here in a minute. I know I was late this morning, girls. I had a couple of things I had to do, and then I messed up starting the live up again. I don't know what I'm doing, but it's not as easy as it seems. Sometimes it's not as easy as it seems. Okay, Ray, which is Chelsea. I hope you can see this machine when you get on here, girl. Okay, so I pre-cut a whole bunch of soup bowl cozies. We'll show you how to cut them in a minute, but essentially they're going to look like this to start off with. There's fabric and there's batting. So we need to sew a cross hatch stitch across this fabric. So I've got my Singer Confidence quilter here. I've got it on stitch 16, which is a nice serpentine stitch. And the reason I like to do this is because it pretty much feeds into the machine itself. But you can do this with a regular straight stitch and just sew an X as well. So we're going to sew a whole bunch of these. I've got them in different colors. I cut these out with my Accuquilt cutting system. You can cut soup bowl cozies lots of different ways, but that's the way I choose to do it. And this is a tutorial for chain piecing these. So it might not be of interest to a whole bunch of you, but I know there's a few people that really want to learn to make soup bowl cozies quickly. And I'm going to show you how to do it here. Okay, good morning, Anissa. Good morning, Steph. Sorry I was late. I just got on here this morning. So Steph's one of my regulars. We have a whole bunch of actual channel members here, you guys, as well, that interact with the channel all day long. Every time I'm on a live, actually. So that's pretty freaking awesome. How are you this morning, Steph? I just saw Steph last night. We were doing another live where we were making fridge magnets. So all of the projects that I show you on this channel are things that I actually make and sew to sell in my craft business, which is Home Stitchery Decor. So if you're interested in any of that, they're all on my website. I think I didn't change the bobbin thread on this one, but luckily it didn't show through too much. So we're going to use this nice, oh gosh, it's kind of like a subtle mauve, a really soft gray, but it pulls purple in my studio light here. And I'll show you the two colors of the soup bowl cozies here as well, because we've got opposing colors, different colors, top, bottom here. You're doing okay so far. Well, it's just morning, right? It's 10 after 8. It's 10 after 8 where Steph is, and well, quarter after 8, and it's quarter after 9 where I am in the world. Okay, so we've got a bunch of these, and I know this is going to look boring as heck for a few minutes. So what do we want to talk about this morning? Coffee in hand. Yes, I've got my coffee here to the side as well. I've got my fun mug this morning. I call this one my fun mug. This is from a local artist that does pottery, essentially. And I bought that at a Christmas market last year. She was a couple of booths down from me. She had all this amazing collection, and it's pretty cool. So the purpose of this video, we started at like 10 after 9, I think it was. One of my girls that watches me regularly is trying to make these to sell, and messaged me last week, and it was saying, it takes me 2 hours to make a soup bowl cozy. And I said to her, wait a second here, that is not a viable business plan. So I said, I will pre-cut, well, I'd already pre-cut these out, and I will do a live video where I show you how to do a huge stack. So this is a stack that we're working on today. And typically I can get this, I think there's going to be 40 in the stack here. I can get 40 done in a day easily. And then I sell them for $15 each. So let's do the math, which we can do while we're sitting. I wish I wouldn't have worn these slacks because they're very slippery and I keep falling off my chair. Okay, so we've got 15 times 40, $600 in a day out of soup bowl cozies. Yes, you have to buy the fabric. Yes, you have to cut them. But even if I was cutting these, I could do 60 in a day. Or sorry, 40 in a day. I could actually do 60 in a day if I just sat my butt down and worked for like 12 hours. And that's a pretty good business plan if you're doing craft stuff. And I always have other machines running. So you'll see in the background here, I have my FAF embroidery machine, and that makes my Christmas reindeer. When I'm not doing a live, that machine will be running. And I will also have my Cricut maker running, and it will either be cutting out my mandala designs or it will be cutting out my Christmas cards. So I make sure I'm multitasking, and I also will make sure that I have, like, my washing machine is going right now, my dryer is going right now. So if you hear like a big, like, buzz, that's my washing machine and dryer ending their cycles. And I put in a grocery order this morning while I was drinking my first coffee. So after I'm done this live, my grocery order will be arriving, and I will take a break after this live. And I typically, I try to go for a walk every day, about 5 kilometers. And so I looked at the weather today. It's going to be pretty nice. So I'm definitely going to go and take my little dog, and we go for a walk and just kind of rejuvenates. All right, so the system that I'm using here to cut these is the Accuquilt Studio cutting machine. And I'm going to show you guys the cutting machine right now. We'll just take a tiny little break here. We'll flip the camera around, and I'm going to show you the cutting machine that I use. The link for everything is in the video description. So if you want any of these products, the link is in the video description. So let's just flip our camera around. And sorry, I've got to turn it, but hopefully you guys can see. And get this down here like this. There we go. That's pretty good. That's not too bad. All right. So this is a studio cutting machine. On Accuquilt's site, you can choose whatever sewing or cutting machine you want. This is the huge studio version of the machine. You can't see my face. Is this important? Should we see my face? Can I zoom this out a little bit? No. Let's move it back. Maybe you can see my face as I'm talking here. Sorry guys, it's hard when you're doing a live to like position the camera and everything. I think you'll be able to see my face now. Okay, so this is the Accuquilt Studio cutting machine. They have home versions of this as well that are less expensive. But the studio cutting machine is the absolute workhorse of machines. So you need the machine. It comes with the tray, the metal tray underneath here, and it comes with the piece of plastic on top. You will also need the Bowl Cozy die that looks like this, and you will need the adapter kit. The adapter plastic, which essentially looks just like a huge cutting board, and you need the exact thickness. So you need to purchase this extra and the die extra. So we put the die down onto the adapter kit. And the reason you need the adapter is sometimes they have studio dies, which fit in the studio machine. But the Bowl Cozy, they only make for the other machines, and it's not thick enough to go through the studio die. So you need this cutting board underneath it, essentially to raise it up to the thickness for this machine. So they have all kinds of dies. Like I bet you they have thousands of dies. And good morning, I'm going to call you Chelsea now. Because I know your real name. Good morning, Chelsea. Chelsea, I'm just going over showing them how to cut. You saw this last week, though, or a couple weeks ago when I did a live. Then you put your piece of plastic down on top of it, and you're going to roll this through. They have electric machines, but with electric machines, of course, you always run the risk of it breaking because it's electric, and then you're out the money. And you can also cut more thicknesses on the studio machine. So I'm going to just grab my notes that I had for this, how much it costs. And I've used my die over and over again. So if there's a couple little, fabric tags on here or whatever, I don't really care. I just grab my scissors and have a little snip party, and off we go. All right, so you need 2 layers of batting for each soup cozy, and then you need your quilt cotton fabric as well. So then it looks like this. So I've just cut out 2 thicknesses. The batting I got on Amazon, and I'll put the Amazon. Well, I didn't get it on Amazon anymore. I used to get it on Amazon, but now I have a discount for wholesale. But you guys can get it on Amazon, or if you're in the States, we discovered last week during a chat, you can also get it at Walmart pretty cheap. It's the Wrap and Zap batting by Pellon. Okay, so we did the math on this machine where you're thinking it's expensive, but here's how it works. So the adapter piece is $22. The machine itself with the tray and the piece of plastic is $7.85, and then the soup cozy die is $130, and 9 yards of fabric, which would do this project. 9 yards is about $280. And then we discovered that the batting is about $90, and you need about $15 in thread. So in total, it was like $1,325 to do 1 bolt of batting, which would be 9 yards by 120 inches. Now, out of that, you'll be able to cut, essentially, you're going to be able to make 120 soup bowl cozies. So that would be how many you could finish out of that $1,325 project. So 120 times 15, can't do math today, times 15 equals $1,800. So you're going to be up if you buy the system. Now, I know there's other ways where you can cut these out, just depending on how many you want to make, where you can buy plastic templates off of Amazon and cut those out yourself. So there is a way to do it like that. But if you're making these to sell, I would highly suggest working your way to this system as quickly as possible, because this is going to save you a boatload of time. So there's the cost breakdown of that. Okay. Good morning, Jennifer. Welcome back. Jennifer's here a lot too. Jennifer, we're chain piecing soup bowl cozies today. So I'm going to flip it around again. We're helping, Ray's name is actually Chelsea, and we found this out yesterday. She joined the channel, and she was having some issues with making soup bowl cozies quick enough. So I said, when I get back from my holiday, I would get in here and show her how to chain piece these a little more quickly. So that is what we're doing here this morning. And I hope this benefits some other people as well. So this is a Singer Confidence quilter. I'm using a serpentine stitch, which does like a wave, but you can do this with an X as well. So, or just, a straight stitch as well. And you just want to make an X is what you want to do. Let me find some scissors here too, and I'll show you the stitch. The reason I like this stitch is, for me, it's pretty much hands-free. It feeds into the machine, watch it a little bit, make sure it's not going catawonker. But this is the stitch itself. You can see it has a little swirl to it. And this way I can do other things with my hands, like thread a bobbin on another machine. I often sew on my other machine as I'm doing this as well. And so we're going to do, we're essentially going to do this whole pile, because I want Chelsea to be able to see how quickly this actually goes when you get going on it and you have the proper equipment, which I understand is an investment. I get that. I started with nothing, so please save your judgment and save the, oh, she's so greedy comments, blah, blah, blah. I literally started with nothing. So we're going to do this as quick as we can. And get Chelsea here going off pretty good. What's everybody doing this morning? Where's everybody from? I'm Jolene. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I own Home Stitchery Decor, and I sell all of these projects, and I teach you guys what to do here on my channel. Yeah, you told us that yesterday. Your machine is just hungry for fabric. It's not strong enough to get through, which is fine, which is perfectly fine. And you think you're getting a new machine for Christmas. Now, I did tell you the machines that I use that will get through this project. You don't want to be buying $100 machine because it won't do it. I don't even sew the soup bowl cozies, the thickness on this machine here. This machine I've had for years and years and years, and it is pretty reliable for this stitch, but I don't trust it for a lot of other stuff, which is why I got that new FAF. But the machine that I'm going to use to sew the soup bowl cozies together today is my Husqvarna Viking Onyx 15. And it was about a $320 machine. So not too bad. It will do the job. I will not be getting a new machine for Christmas because I just got that that new FAF Quilt Ambition 635. So all of the links for everything that I use is in the video description, and I'm an affiliate for everything. So if you do shop through the links, I do earn small commissions, so that's great. I was telling everyone yesterday that I was shopping for fabric a couple of days ago, and I have commercial accounts. So with commercial accounts, you can buy what's in stock, but you can also pre-order fabric for next year's collections, which is what quilt stores do, right? So I was looking at a whole bunch of the new collections that are coming out for 2026, and they're released on different days. So they can be released, January all the way up through December next year. You can see what's coming from the designers. And believe me when I say to you, the price is going up, everyone. So tariffs affect everything. And even if the fabric is, manufactured in the United States, the raw materials are often not. Jennifer says, it took me, so they're not going to fix it. That sucks, Jennifer. That's so annoying. You know where a great place to buy machines is, everyone? Facebook Marketplace. So many times I've seen sewing machines on Facebook Marketplace. People have bought the machines and they just don't use them. They don't know how to use them. Or they've had a family member that's passed away and they're selling off machines. In my city, Calgary, we have a great Facebook community called We're So Creative. And it's just like a Facebook group. And essentially, people on there will post projects that they've done. They'll hire people. They'll tell people where good sales are. And they'll sell off equipment. And we have fabric sales. I think like once a year for sure is one huge fabric sale called Ujama Grandmas. And they collect fabric all throughout the year, and then they rent like a facility, like a community center, and they have all this, like these huge stacks of fabric, and they raise money for charity from it as well. So it's a huge volunteer-based stuff. So I actually got this FAF over here in the corner. I don't know if you can see it, the purple one. It's a FAF Select 4.0. A lady was giving it away on that group. She was older, and I believe she was ill and was cleaning out her sewing room and just really wanted somebody that would actually use it to get it. And I was in need of a sewing machine pretty bad at that point. And so I asked her, kindly if I could have the machine. And she said, yes, of course, come pick it up. So I did. But I left her a coffee card. So I was like, that's a pretty nice machine. She didn't have to do that. Yeah, the old stuff is better, isn't it? I agree, Steph. I agree. So, like I said, this could be boring for some people, but I want to show Chelsea here the actual time frame to get these chain pieced. So we've got a stack of 40. And in the grand scheme of things, it does go pretty quick. And I'm typically working on my other sewing machine at the same time. So I will put this into this machine to sew, and I'll be over here just to my right sewing another project at the same time, because this will feed in when you're doing the serpentine stitch. This will feed in, and as long as you keep your eyeballs on it, you can do other things on your other machine, like thread bobbins and that kind of stuff. Now, I'm not going to do that today because I want to, first of all, give practical advice to somebody. You need to get to this stage to make money. The next stage where, I'm multitasking on another machine, that's some next level stuff. Not to say you can't get there, but I don't want you to compare where you're at to where I'm at when I'm 10 years ahead of you. That doesn't seem like a fair comparison, and it doesn't seem like a good way to set expectations for yourself. Make sense? So just go as quickly as possible. And I need to do this stuff anyway because I'm selling at these huge Christmas markets here pretty quick. So I need to pitter patter, get the heck at her, and make a whole bunch of projects as well. So this will be a great one today to show you guys how to get this going pretty quick. So just keep an eye on it as you're learning to make sure everything's feeding in. I use a serpentine stitch, but you can use just a straight stitch. The trick with this is going to be to keep your sewing machine moving while you're doing this. So your pedal to the metal here is what's going to make you the money. You want to be with your machine in the sewing, needle up, needle down, going as quickly as possible. Chelsea, is this helping you at all? Do you have any questions? This is also going to be important when you're actually, I had questions, Chelsea. When you're listing your products. Yesterday, you said you were on eBay. Are you on eBay or are you doing Etsy? I kind of have a feeling you're going to do Etsy. So I cut the fabric all out with the Accuquilt Studio, and then I lined it. I basically stood up and I placed the cozy fabric on top of the batting fabric, and I just made a line here. I didn't stack them up evenly one on top of the other, and the reason I didn't do that is because when I'm sitting here, I want to easily be able to grab one off the pile. And when you stack them up where they're just one on top of the other, with no separation between the layers, when you go to pull it off, they all get stuck together and you have to stop and fix whatever you've done. So I find when I lay them out and stagger the layers out, it's much easier for me to pick up at this stage, which makes sewing quicker because I'm not fixing something. So this is like a master class in sewing soup bowl cozies really fast. I always use 100% cotton fabric, Pellon wrap and zap batting, and cotton thread. Don't sew your fingers. Don't go so fast you sew your fingers. Watch what you're doing. But we've got half of the X done here on essentially 40 pieces of fabric. And I showed you how to cut them. So we had a little break for that. The other thing you could do is you could go in with a girlfriend or get a business partner and buy the equipment. Accuquilt has so many dyes. It is absolutely ridiculous how many dyes they have. I make soup bowl cozies, stockings, jelly rolls, so fabric strips, 2.5-inch fabric strips, oven mitts. I make circles for my potato bags. They have an eye mask dye. And what else do I have? Anyway, they have tons and tons and tons of dyes. So if you picked, even like for your first year of markets, if all you made was soup bowl cozies and you nailed it, and you made, as many soup bowl cozies as you could make in a year, and you had, colors that mix and match with each other, and you priced your soup bowl cozies for like buy two, get $3 off, or buy four, get $5 off, and set up like a little bit of a marketing strategy, you could make bank just making soup bowl cozies at a farmer's market, Christmas market, whatever it is. So I always recommend start with one project and nail it. Like completely, absolutely freaking nail it. And then add something else on. So here is my big pile. I'm going to get this out of the way. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start clipping the fabric as I'm sewing the new one in. So I hope this doesn't hit my camera, but we'll see. So I'm going to turn my machine here a little bit just so I can work here as well. So I'm starting to sew the X and I'm starting to clip the next one in the pile as well as that one's going. And now it doesn't matter if I stack these one on top of the other, but you can see keeping the machine running is going to be your ticket to success here. So maybe get one more done before I've got to change it. I hope I didn't hit my thread over here. I did. That's okay. All right, now start again. I've just got these little Fiskars snips. I got these at Michael's, I believe, the craft store. So if you have a 30% off coupon, which I believe they have this week actually, then you could get these snips for inexpensive. I like them because I'm not worried about cutting my fingers as I'm going through this. I've just got something in my hand and I can keep them in my hand as I'm changing the fabric out over here. I didn't have to put them down, which also will speed things up. So a lot of what you're doing when you have a craft business is just systems. Systems. So create a product, create a system, repeat the system until it's perfected, videotape the system, and then delegate it to somebody else. That will be how you will scale. I don't have any staff right now because I got annoyed with them all last year, and my husband had cancer, and it was a debacle and a mess, and blah, 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 blah. But typically I have staff working for me. And this year I just needed some peace and freaking quiet. So I fired everybody and said, this year, just for this year, I'm going to go at it alone right now and see how it goes. I'm actually liking it because it's calmer. But if you wanted to scale, you need to get a product, get a system, document the system, delegate the system. Make sense? So as you can see, I didn't have to take my snips out of my hand. I can change the fabric quickly. And I've got my snips ready here to go to the next color or next pile of soup cozies here. So this is some like expert level sewing here, you guys. I'm doing 40 at a time. I typically do 40. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why I like 40 so much, but these when I'm doing a new color, and this is a brand new color, this isn't even on my website yet. I like to do 40. A vero, Fernani, buongiorno. Did I say that right? Good work. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right. Flipping it around. Now, when somebody has done a project for as long as I've done, and I'm showing you the exact steps and tools and everything to do it, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just need to follow the person in front of you. Literally, that is all you have to do to be successful. Make some iterations as you go, but if you've watched the tutorials and you're like, oh, I think I could do this better, you maybe could, in a year or two, come up with some new ideas, and by all means, I'm happy. I'm happy if you come up with new ideas. I'm happy to hear them. But if you come into something and you think, oh, I know everything and I'm going to do this so much better, and there's got to be a better way of doing this, trust me, I've probably already tried it. And right now I'm showing you the best way I have found to do it. And I have had my craft business now since 2018. It's helping. Good. I'm glad it's helping. So like I said, you can do this with a straight stitch as well. So if the machine that you get does not have a serpentine stitch on it, do it with the straight stitch. I like the serpentine stitch. And I also feel like it's just a little bit dressier than the straight stitch. So as you can see, I'm not pausing. I'm grabbing the next project and working. Like, you know what I think people's biggest problem is too? Is that we all tell each other, well, we all tell ourselves lies. Oh, I worked so hard today. Oh, I worked so hard today. I do it too. But then you look back and it's like, did you actually work? Or did you tell everybody you were working when you actually messed around for most of the day? Finding things to work on, Googling things to work on, watching Instagram stories of things you could work on, getting 58 new ideas for things you could work on, buying the supplies for all the things you could work on, and you've maybe made $20 worth of finished product in a day. Whereas if you'd actually sat down and worked, you could have got, $600 worth of product done in a day. if you'd actually worked. Oh, you don't have the money yet to start Etsy. Okay, which is fine, totally fine. I'm not as familiar with eBay as I am with Etsy, but I will tell you this: it is much easier to sell a repeatable product. So when you go and buy your fabric to make all the colors, instead of making one of each color and cutting out one of each color and sewing one of each color and doing the listing and the photographs and the SEO and the all of that, it takes time to do that. So when you make a project that's like, I'm going to start off with 40 of this color. I have more of this fabric. I bought 3 bolts of this gray and blue leaf fabric. No, don't get too excited. It was on sale at Marshall's. There were 8 yards in a bolt for $32 Canadian, which is a very good price. So I bought 3 bolts of it because I knew that that's a color that I can add to my collections. And then as these Super Cozies sell out, I will be able to grab the bolt and make another 40. And then I'm not spending my time doing the listing again. I'm not spending my time doing the photographs again. None of that at all. None of that. So the other way you can do this, if you get to the point that you're like, I'm just talking Etsy, for example, if you really wanted to sell on Etsy, is to make as many of these as possible and only have one listing on Etsy. Make it the very best listing that you can. And then under the variants is where you would have different colors. So what would happen with that, and it could be the same for eBay, is people will see one color, but they don't like that color as much. And so they go through your listing and they see all your other variants of colors and they buy a variant of colors. Now that one listing has a sale, which helps the algorithm. Now, if you have 20 different variants and all of those variants over time get a sale under one listing, now you've got one listing with 20 sales. Whereas if you put the listings in individually, you would have 20 listings with one sale, which isn't as good for the algorithm as one listing with 20 sales. Make sense? And everything is money. I get it. And like I said, Chelsea, I started with absolute nothing. Nothing. Did you see that? I wasn't paying attention. I was reading the previous comments and I kept sewing. How to screw up your machine 101 with home stitchery decor. That's what I should have named this video. So pretty quick. It doesn't matter as much now if these are stacked one on top of the other because I can pull these off quickly. Now they're separated. But definitely stagger them as you go. And this video will be available on a replay as well. So you can always replay it later on, Chelsea, when you get going and you're like, what did she say? How did she do that? What did she say? So after we're done the blue here, which we've got this many left of sewing the X, we're going to go over channel membership and how that works, because I know some people will have some questions. What's this channel membership? How did she get so many members? So if you're new and you're just signing in, I'm Jolene. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I own Home Stitchery Decor. Today we're chain piecing Super Bowl cozies for my Christmas markets that are coming up. They start on November 6th, so I need a whole bunch of product. And I teach everything that I do right here on my channel because I cannot make this stuff for everybody, so why not? So we're using a Singer Confidence quilter for this portion of it, and I'm using a serpentine stitch. I've got some gray leaf fabric, and then I've got kind of like it's kind of like a paisley, a floral paisley fabric to go onto the back of this. So some nice, soft, subtle colors. And essentially we're doing this one to teach people how to chain piece because I really want to inspire you guys to make your own. I've cut these out with the Accuquilt Studio cutting machine and the Bowl Cozy die. The other thing you guys could do is if you have a machine where you're cutting these out, you could offer cutting services. Not that hard to do. So in your area, you could advertise on your Facebook. People could send you their fabric, or you could have days in your home where people will could come over and cut their own fabric and pay a fee for using your cutting machine. Or if you were really savvy and wanted to actually set up a whole entire business with this, you could rent a space and have all kinds of craft equipment in that space, and everybody could pay an hourly rate to basically rent a craft space, but you have the equipment. Make sense? Where they can all come and cut their own stuff out, and then you charge them. You could have all the supplies there, but you could charge them to use the equipment, but you could also sell supplies. And I bet you there would be a whole bunch of people that would. Okay, Peggy, we don't WTH here. It's because we're live, and the screen, that's how it gets videotaped when you're live. That's just how it works when we're live sometimes. That's how it works. We flip our screen back and forth to show you different things in the studio, and sometimes you get the reverse view, and sometimes you get the front view, and I'm going to go with too bad, so sad. Moving on. Okay, so yeah, you could rent a space and do, you could also, I don't know how many people have this, but what would that site be called now? No, this one's done. What's going on here? I think I pulled from the wrong pile. You could rent equipment out as well. If that's something that you're interested in doing, like growing your business, you could actually have a whole bunch of equipment and actually rent it out. And there's a platform for that. And I forget what the thing is called. You could rent everything out from your KitchenAid mixer to garden tools, crock pots, kids' bouncy houses. So say you bought a sewing machine and you were looking for a way to pay for it. Just Google what sites could I rent my sewing machine out on, and something will pop up. Somebody can Google that. I can't right now because I'm not close enough to my computer. But it's like a worldwide site. It's kind of like Turo, where people rent out their personal cars, but it's for equipment, stuff like this. All right, we're coming up to the end of the blue. So just some extra ways to make money off your craft business. Or like, for instance, I was on holiday the last couple of weeks, mostly on holiday. I did have a few days at the house where I was doing some projects in between, but basically like 4 days and 2 weeks I was home. And if I wanted to, I could have rented out my craft equipment and it could have gone to somebody else's house while I was on holiday and they could have used the craft equipment and I would have still made some money. It's also handy. Like I know on our local Facebook group, there will be people that have traveled to Calgary to spend some time with family and then come onto the group and ask if anybody is willing to rent out a sewing machine while they're here, because they've whatever flown from across the country and didn't want to fly their sewing machine here, but they still want to be able to craft with their loved ones and they need an extra machine. So I've seen that done as well. I did not get this one lined up perfectly, so I'm just going to stop for 1 second, which is, I think, the first time I've stopped because something wasn't lined up. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right. We've got 4 more of the blue ones left to do, and then we'll talk about the channel membership, and then we'll start the next color with the zigzaggy stitch, serpentine stitch. So as I've said before, the key to this is to keep the sewing machine going. This is how you make money when you're crafting. Any questions, concerns, comments, other than why is the camera backwards? 52 minutes, not too bad. I was going to tell you guys, Connecting Threads today has sales on. So it's 30% off their fall line. They have free shipping when you purchase, I believe, in Canada, if you purchase 120 American dollars, they ship it for free. I think in the States it's 75 US dollars and they ship for free. And they also have a sewing starter bundle on right now, where if you purchase $100, they send you this kit to get you started. So that's on sale. I put a link in the video description for Connecting Threads. They've got some new fabric out, and that's the only one I really had time to look at this morning. I got the email and I thought, okay, well, I can share that. Oh, that's not the only. Yesterday I saw on Missouri Star that they had wide back, a couple of wide backs on sale. So if you're looking for some fabric, there's a couple of places to go check out today. Okay, so we're just going to clip these few off. I probably should have done that before, but there's only 4 of them here, so take 1 second. Not practicing what I preach. I should have done this before. Okay, channel memberships are $2 a month, and they start at $2 a month, which is, according to Steph, a quarter cup of coffee. And you get premium response to comments, you get members only content, you get members only discounts, and you get me. So that's kind of fun. But also, when we reach 150 paid members of the channel, we're going to do this huge draw. So I'm going to get the prizes here. It's massive. So we started doing lives, and I opened up like a channel membership because I thought this could be fun for everybody involved. And we've got a prize pack here of 500 Canadian dollars, which is crazy. If you're one of the first 150 paid members of the channel, which is $2 a month, basically to support the channel, you'll be entered into this draw. You have to give me your address and I'll ship this stuff off to you. So the first thing, we had live where we did a Robert Kaufman reversible placemats. So they look like this, Christmas placemats. You receive a set of 2 of those. You will receive a Christmas tea towel, which we did a live for. You can go back and watch all of these lives. You can go back and watch. So this was like everybody voted on how we made it, which was super fun. Then one day I decided I needed to clean up my scrap pile, so I bought a magnet making machine. And now I've got a project that I can use up to 2 1/8 inch scrap fabric with my magnet maker. So you receive 6 magnets in the Robert Kaufman Christmas fabric. Super fun. We announced my book, which is From Zero to YouTuber, which is available on Amazon. It's $14.95 American. It's essentially a $2,000 course in a book. And if you want to do what I do, you can read that book. Thank you very much for purchasing that. Then one day we made some soup bowl cozies, and we took a vote and decided that the vote was they would rather have 4 unsewn soup bowl cozies than 2 sewn soup bowl cozies. So you receive a kit of 4. And the video tutorial is on my channel already. Then we made a jelly roll rug. So we have the Clover fabric tube maker will be in that draw as well. Then we did a jelly roll rug with the fabric tube maker. So we decided, why not give away the rug as well? So there's a 20 strip jelly roll rug there, which will be included. Then we decided to give away this FAF gift box, which is amazing. It's got 2 quilting rulers, a rotary cutter, rotary blades, and 2 packs of needles. But wait, there's more. It always gets better. There's a rotating cutting mat as well. So the members only draw is open to the first 150 paid members of the channel. We are currently sitting at 16, which is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. By Christmas, for sure, this will be given away, and we keep adding more stuff to this prize pack. So if you're one of the paid members of the channel, you get entered into this draw. If you win, you got to give me your address. We're going to ship off all of this stuff to you for free. Any questions about that? To join the channel, you've got a link on your screen that'll say join. You can go back to the main channel, which says Home Stitchery Decor, and right next to subscribe, you'll have a join button. Or you can follow the link in the video description. All right, so we'll put the members only draw up here, safe and out of the way. On the channel as well, I've got videos that have little gold presents in them. They'll be on the front of the video where they have the the picture of what the video is. On those videos, I also have giveaways that are open to everyone. So all you have to be is subscribe to the channel, watch the video, and follow along with the instructions. All right. So let's turn this a little bit so it's more about the machine than it is about me. And this is the second color we're doing. We're sewing soup bowl cozies, chain piecing soup bowl cozies today. And I'm doing a stack of 40 of them, and we're going through the entire process aside from cutting them. We did that on another video. And the reason we're doing this is to try to get as many people as possible into the rhythm of making a repeatable product that they could actually sell and make themselves some money from. So all of the products I teach here, I actually sell myself. They're available on my website. I sell in local stores and farmers markets, and I do huge Christmas markets. So I sell wholesale to some stores. You can check out my catalog right here on my YouTube channel as well if you're just interested in purchasing products. And I give away all kinds of free business advice in hopes of actually helping somebody start their own business, inspiring them to do so, and hope earning some more money, which contributes back to the economy. Yay. I think we would all do better if we all did better. So this part, this is, I was just telling you guys, systems. It doesn't have to be all fun and shiny, although I do have my fun mug today. But basically, if you just sat your butt down and did the work, you could actually make some pretty good coin doing this. We explain the Accuquilt Studio cutting machine, which is how I cut these out. The Accuquilt link is in the video description. You need a cutting machine, the bowl cozy die, and if you're buying the studio cutting machine, which is the hand crank one, you need the plastic adapter as well, which is $22. And that will bring the die up to the same level as the studio machine, because a lot of the studio dies are like this thick and the Soup Cozy die is this thick, which means you need a piece of plastic underneath it that will bring it up to the exact height to go through that cutting machine properly. And as I mentioned, Accuquilt has thousands of dies available. This is just one project that I make with their die system, but you can make all kinds of things with their die system. Cut your fabric out consistently, which is the most important thing, and create a repeatable product that you could sell consistently as well. So if you guys like stuff like this, hit subscribe and come join us on the channel. This is the first time I've done chain piecing on the channel. And essentially, I want to show this one lady, Chelsea, who was having some issues with making soup bowl cozy. She was telling me it takes her 2 hours to make one. And I said, let me do a live here and I'll walk you through the process, because that is not sustainable. You're not going to make any money doing that. Thanks for all the thumbs up, everyone. That's amazing. Got quite a few people on here. Oh, now we just dropped to 7. That's okay. This isn't for everyone, but it's fun. And what else can we talk about today? We don't talk politics, other than the facts of there's tariffs and that's going to cost us money. It's going to cost everybody money. I don't know how those got flipped over here, but they did. Knocking things off around here. So this year, I'm guessing, I haven't counted yet, but I would guess I probably have close to 400 soup bowl cozies that I'm going to the markets with. I'm going to try to go into the market with $65,000 worth of finished product. Last year, I went into the markets with $55,000 worth of finished product. And I was very happy with my results. But of course, I'm an overachiever, so I would like to improve on that. I won't tell you exactly how much I sold because that's private, but I want to sell 25% more this year. So we'll see if I can do that. That is the goal. That is the plan. And in order to reach the plan, you need to have a system and some accountability for it. Hello, good morning. If you're just joining us, we are chain piecing soup bowl cozies. The fabric is 100% cotton fabric. The thread is cotton, And the batting is the Pellon Wrap and Zap batting. So don't use anything but 100% cotton for this project, especially if you intend to put it in your microwave, because it won't go well. It will start on fire and burn your house down and all that kind of stuff. So don't do that. Only use the recommended products. Follow the instructions from Pellon itself. They have very detailed instructions on their website for how to use their batting products. So please be careful with that. The machine I'm using today is a Singer Confidence Quilter to put the serpentine stitch on. And then I'm going to switch machines and use my Husqvarna Viking. This one does not like thick fabric, so there's no point in sewing soup bowl cozies together on it. It will just bugger it up. And even the foot pedal on this machine is like, I'm so tired. I've been around for years. So what I'm doing is I'm basically hands-free on my sewing machine, and I'm cutting the fabric apart, the little threads of fabric. Because I'm using these little Fisker snips, I don't have to put them down in between, and I can just keep the pedal going as quickly as possible. Let's try to get to 25 thumbs up on this channel. If you guys like stuff like this, can you leave me a thumbs up? It helps the video get shown. It helps my channel grow, which helps me do all the fun giveaways, because dang it, we're not having enough fun, and I own this place, so I can do whatever the heck I want here, which means for you, more fun. Yay! Okay, now we're up to 8 thumbs up. Let's try to get to 25. Come on, we can do it. If you've got a business going and you feel like you just need like more one-on-one, I do offer coaching. It's on my website. You can go ahead and check that out. I do have some pretty detailed questions I need to ask you before we get into it. I bring my A game to your business. I was going to say issues, but they're not really issues. They're just, if you want to grow your business and you want to get there quicker, I highly recommend getting a coach. And I also highly recommend getting an accountability partner. I have both. They are amazing. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate it. We're just going as quick as we can. I did title the video appropriately. Chain piecing soup bowl cozies, I believe, is what I called it. So, yeah, that's what we're doing here. Gonna get a couple of people starting their own business. And like, I make this stuff for everybody, but honestly, I can't make it for everyone. I don't want to. I would much rather teach you how to do it and coach you along the way, basically. And my YouTube channel is now over 7,300 subscribers, which is amazing. I have tutorials on how to sew the soup bowl cozies as well, where I just sew one, and I believe it's like a 20-minute long video, so it's super easy to follow along with. I'm going to show you the exact step-by-step process to making a soup bowl cozy, and today we're just showing you how to chain piece, so if you were doing them in bulk. And then I have all kinds of mix and match videos that go along with them. So not only will you learn to make a soup bowl cozy, but you can follow along in that video series and make the matching dish drying mat, the matching oven mitt, and the matching tea towel. So there's a whole series there for you. Most of the projects I cut out with my Accuquilt studio machine. Show you how to use that. And lately we've been doing a lot of lives. I'm finding them very helpful for growing the channel, helpful for making some new friends, helpful for doing, one-on-one, basically coaching. If you've got any questions, go ahead and ask them. Happy to help. Okay, we're almost done. Oh, no, maybe not almost done. We're getting there. We're about 3/4 done. The first X on this beige color. It's kind of grayish. I shouldn't have said beige. It's like grayish. We're going to have to change a bobbin here in a second. That's okay too. What color do you think sells best in my booth? I've got teal and white. I've got black and taupe. I've got mustard and black. We've got a whole stand that's just done in varying taupes and browns. We've got pink and blue. We've got orange and green floral. And then we've got red and white and a vibrant blue. Oh, and we also have gray and white. Any guesses which color sells the best? It's like helpful tips for people that want to know. All right. Do I have another bobbin? I don't think I do. It might be hiding here, but you don't know. Okay, grab this one. It's like a participation portion of the video. We've got okay, thread the machine here again. Neutral tones, yep. You are correct. Honestly, it's almost always gray, which kind of makes me sad. So I'm like, why do y'all want gray all the time? All right, this is how many we've got to go for the first part of the X. Then we'll quickly get the second part done, and then we're going to start chain piecing them the other way. And when I chain piece them the other way, I'll probably just let's just do 10 in the pile. I would normally do all 40, but I don't want to bore you guys to tears. I just want to show you the actual process to get these done. Quick. But also I have to make these. So this is kind of me double dipping on my time here by making YouTube videos while I make my projects. So if you've just joined in, you guys, we're making soup bowl cozies. We've got cotton fabric, so quilt cotton fabric, Pellon wrap and zap batting. If you're in the States, a really good place to get this would be at Walmart. We bought a bolt of it, and the bolt is 9 yards by 120 inches. Then you would also need 9 yards of quilting fabric. And if you're using the Accuquilt Studio machine, you can cut 120 soup bowl cozies out of that much fabric. And 120 soup bowl cozies sold at $15 was $1,800. That's how much you would make off a bolt of batting. But the machine itself, the machine setup itself for cutting it was $1,325. which I know is expensive. But essentially, you would, if you made 120 soup bowl cozies, even if you bought the sewing machine to do it, and all of the supplies plus the machine to cut them out, you would still be up after one bolt of fabric. I can easily make 40 in a day by chain piecing them like I'm showing you here. Give yourself some grace. It's going to take you a minute to get that quick. But if you could make 120 in a week, you will have made your money back on all of the equipment that I'm showing you here on this channel to make them with, and then basically make bank after that. So if you're looking for a viable craft solution for something you can sew and sell, soup bowl cozies are a really good project to sew and sell. When you do the zigzag, the serpentine stitch on this, it basically feeds itself into the machine, which leaves my hands free to do other things. Just watch what you're doing. Make sure that it's going into the machine evenly. You don't want any problems with that. I think the next time I do bowl cozies as well, I will just videotape the process and put it on. I don't even know if I told you guys this, but I have a secondary channel. Actually, I have a couple of different channels besides this one. I have sewing ASMR, and all that's on there is me sewing with no talking, which I know some people like. So there's only like 8 subscribers to that channel right now, I believe. I can bring it up here and show you. But it'll come, right? Like everything else in life. It'll come. You have to start somewhere. I started it last year and it didn't, I just didn't have time to do everything. So I'm going to switch account. Oh, no, it is called Relaxing Sewing Room Sounds. Here, I'll just flip the camera around and show you guys on the video here. So that's my secondary channel, Relaxing Sewing Room Sound, ASMR. There's 7 subscribers on it, so not too bad. And yeah, it'll grow this winter as I work on it. Things get quieter in the wintertime around here sometimes. All right, let's sew the second part of the X. This is the last one. Go, 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 go. We can do it. Turn the machine so you guys can see, or turn the camera, or a little bit of both. One down, 39 to go. All of the supplies are linked in the video description here for you guys. So if you want to purchase an Accuquilt system, or you want to start your own Shopify store, the link is there for that. I put the connecting threads link in the video description as well. They've got some new fall fabric on sale today, 30% off, which is kind of fun. everybody doing today besides watching me? And thank you for watching. By the way, okay, we're not going anywhere here. What's going on? There we go. The fabric was stuck on the end. Now, typically when I'm sewing, I'll have my embroidery machine, which is over here. It will be running, making some reindeer. I will have my Cricut machine running, which will be either cutting out my mandalas or cutting out my Christmas cards. Today I've got my washer and dryer running, catching up on laundry because I really don't like doing laundry on the weekend. So I've got the bed stripped down and washing all the sheets and towels and everything like that today. So that'll be nice later on to get that all put away. And then I put a grocery order in this morning. So when I'm done doing this live, I'll have my grocery order delivered. I'm going to go for a nice long walk with my dog. I try to do 5K a day, which takes just over an hour for me because I walk pretty fast. And I just love spending time with her. So it's a good mommy and dog bond time. And it also just gives me a mental break during the day. I listen to one of my favorite podcasts all the time is Modern Wisdom by Chris Williamson. He has very interesting, thoughtful people on. And you can learn a bunch of stuff and get inspired to do a bunch of stuff. And yes, everything from figure out how your brain works to why food products in the United States are made with chemicals that aren't even allowed in some countries. That was interesting. Listened to that one a few days ago. All right, almost there. We started at 10 after 9. We took a couple of breaks to show you the Accuquilt cutting system. And we took a break to show you the members only gift package, which is worth over $500. So when we reach 150 paid members of the channel, that will trigger that draw and you'll get the huge prize pack. Members only get priority comment reply. They get access to my new videos before everybody else. They get members only discounts on my digital products, and you can see the videos where I announce those discounts in the members only section. You can only see them, you can only watch those videos if you're a paid member. And we're going to do all kinds of ridiculously fun things here on this channel as I grow. So get in on the fun. So I think starting out a membership with a prize pack worth over $500 is a pretty good way to start off growing a membership. You can argue with me if you want to, but all of us members took a vote and we decided that was fun. So you might be outvoted on that one. But yeah, I think why can't we have more fun in the world and help people as we do it? So chain piecing soup bowl cozies is the way to make the money. You want to make the money. It's boring and it works. Does anybody here listen to Layla Hormozi? Anybody know who that is? I'm sliding off my chair again. I should be sewing, but I'm sliding off my chair. Anybody know who Layla Hormozi is? Raise your hand if you do. She is she's married to Alex Hormozy. He's pretty popular. He's all over the internet. He writes books and promotes School, which is a membership platform that people can join and teach all their products. But anyway, his wife, she's pretty funny. All she says is, if you guys want to make money, she says, F your feelings, follow the plan. And right now I'm showing you the plan for how to make Super Bowl cozies and make money on them. So, yes, it's boring. Yes, it works. Put something fun on YouTube or on Netflix or binge watch all my content on YouTube. There you go. While you do it, and then in a year from now, when you've made a boatload of money making Super Bowl cozies, come back on the channel, tell everybody about it, and say thank you, and we'll be good. $14. Hi everyone, it's Jolene from Home Stitchery Decor. We are making Super Bowl cozies. Everything I do on the channel, I sell. I teach you how to do it yourself. It's all available on my website if you want to check out some products for yourself. I ship to Canada and the United States. I probably should have checked to see if Accuquilt itself has any sales right now before I came on live today. That would have been helpful. Can somebody go to the Accuquilt.com site and see if there's anything on sale and tell the others? If the bowl, tell us if the bowl cozy die is on sale. That would be helpful. Or if the cutting machines are on sale, that would be the biggest help. I forgot to check. I probably should have done that before I did a live this morning, but the link is in my video description. As mentioned, we have a shorter tutorial for this project as well on my channel. So today we're chain piecing to show people how to make money making Super Bowl cozies. But if you just want to make a Super Bowl cozy, go ahead and watch the short form tutorial on my channel. It's, I think, about 22 minutes long. And we walk you through the entire process, which is everything I'm doing here today, except for today we're making 40 at a time, not one at a time. So if you want to learn how to make them and you don't want to watch a live video of how to make them to sell, go ahead and check out that video. I think you will get some value out of it. Just keep sewing, just keeps, I feel like I'm in, what was that movie? Finding Nemo. Where Dory is just keep swimming, just keep swimming. You can make it, you can get through. Probably a little more than halfway through sewing this final X, and then we will have the X sewn on essentially 40 Super Bowl cozies. Quick like money. Just have this many left. On my end, the Gold Small Bowl Cozy is on sale for $99. There you go. So follow the link in the description, you guys, if you want to start this project. And thank you, Chelsea, for letting us know it is on sale. That's very helpful. Thank you, thank you. So, Chelsea, we are at 10:40. We started at 9:10 a.m. We had a little break. No, I'm using the 10-inch one. Mine is 10-inch, so I don't know if that's called the small one. I use the 10-inch one because when you buy a bolt of fabric, you can fold the fabric into 4, and you don't even have to take it off the bolt. You just fold the fabric like it's already folded in half when it comes on the bolt, right? Fold it in half again and run it through the machine, and you will have very, very little waste, and you will be able to cut 4 at a time. So that's why I use the 10-inch, because you want to reduce your waste as you're doing this, right? You want to make as many as you possibly can, as quickly as you possibly can, and reduce your waste. Yeah, so it's 10:40. We started at 9:10 a.m. We stopped to show the Accuquilt Studio cutting machine, and we stopped to show the members only gift pack. And other than that, we've been sewing this huge stack of soup bowl cozies. I've got 40, so 40 of each color. There'll be 40 bowls when they're finished. And by 10:45, we will be done sewing the X. And we started at 9:10. So 9:15 to 10:45, an hour and a half to sew the X on 40 soup bowl cozies is essentially the timing on this. Because we haven't stopped. I'm trying to do like how as close as possible to how I actually work when I'm making them, so that you guys can see the process here. So I've made thousands of soup bowl cozies. Thousands. They are, I would say they're easily my bestseller at the Christmas markets. People love them. They come back year after year. They get different colors. They gift them to people. They stand in my booth. They tell other people what they are. They're like, hey, have you seen this? This thing is amazing. So they sell themselves. I sell them for $15 each. And if all you did for 1 year or 2 years was make soup bowl cozies and learn where to sell them and go to craft markets and sell them, I can pretty much guarantee you're going to make money doing this. So make as many of one color as you can afford to make. Don't make just one-off colors. Like I've got 40 of this color, but I have bolts of this fabric. I bought 3 bolts of each one of these colors. So I'll be able to maintain this color for a while, where I can, if I sell out, I can just make more. Small die shows 9-inch by 9-inch. That'll be the finished sewing size of it. But the die itself is 10 by 10 inches. So with the seam allowance, Chelsea, that's what they'll be talking about. Make sense? Okay, we are getting to the end here of this pile. So essentially it took an hour and a half to make these cozies. Chelsea, have you thought about selling on your Facebook marketplace or local Facebook groups? Have you thought about doing that as well? Because I know you're saying eBay, but then you have to ship. And if you're short on money, the easiest way to make money is to have people pick stuff up from your house, and then you're not paying for all the expenses to ship things as well. Make sense? Okay, I'm going to tell you another great idea in a minute. Hang on for just a minute and I'll tell you another great idea. Last one, guys. Last one. Oh, I should be cutting these, shouldn't I? Yeah, I should be. How many have we got here? 9? 999. That's not too bad. All right. Oh, do. Turning. Ah, crap. You guys, give me 1 second here. There's somebody at my door. Hang on. Hang on. Oh, we don't want to lose the Bluetooth. 1 second. Oh my gosh. So sorry. Our weed man is at the door. Anyway, okay, so that happened. All right. So now we're going to sew the edges together. That's what we're going to sew. All right. But Chelsea, I was going to tell you this. So kind of like doing nice things for people. So what we're going to do, this is just for Chelsea, you guys, so bear in mind. Chelsea, when you get ready and you want to make a bunch of these, when you can afford a bolt of batting and you can afford to pay for the fabric to cut 120 soup bowl cozies, message me and we'll work it out. I will cut them for you. You have to pay for the fabric. You have to pay for the batting. Whether you order it and send it to my house, or probably most effectively would be for me to order the batting, and there'll be a shipping charge on the batting because you'll have to pay for the actual supplies, right? But we'll work out where just for the cost to cut you 120 soup bowl cozies. You message me when you get that money together. And we'll cut you 120, and then you'll have to pay for me to ship them to your house, but you'll get 120. Okay. So if you want to do something like that, message me. This is just for Chelsea. I can't do it for everybody, but you know what? You can in the world. You can help one person. And so that will take me time to cut it out. That will take me time. What will it cost to ship that to you? Not that much. Where are you in the States? Like, I have to have the batting shipped to me from my supplier, right? So that costs money, but I do get the batting at, like, I won't upcharge you on the batting. I will charge you what I pay for the batting. I will charge you what I pay for the shipping of that batting. And then we'll pick out some fabric, and you'll have to pay for the fabric, whether I order more fabric because it's a color that you like, or we pick out fabric from fabric that I have here, and we'll cut you. I'll do the cutting for free, but then you have to pay for the shipping to your house. Okay? Okay, so you're in Arizona. Yeah, it's not gonna cost that much. It's not gonna cost that much. Like, it's gonna cost money, but it's not gonna cost you as much as buying the whole machine setup. So you'll have to, you're gonna have to get your sewing machine. You're gonna have to get your cotton thread, all that kind of stuff. And I can only do this for one person. But while I was away on my holiday, I was like, you could do one thing. You could do one thing for one person. One thing. And it doesn't have to happen tomorrow. I put the offer out there. I don't rescind on things that I say I will do for people. I believe in contributing to society by being an active member of society, all of that stuff. So one person, I will do the cutting for you. And then once you sell that 120, you should be able to pay your bills or something. Or if you, like, if it was me and I had that opportunity, I would make sure I saved every freaking penny from those first 120 that I sold, and then I would buy the system to do it for myself. That's what I would do. But I'm not in your position. I don't know your finances. I don't know, like, basically anything about your life. But if I was given that opportunity, I would save every freaking penny and buy the system and then repeat it. So somebody helped me get my system, right? Like, I was on a Facebook group, like, it's Accuquilt for Canadians, a Facebook group. And years ago, I asked, some of you know this story, some of you don't know this story, but years ago, I asked on this group how on earth I could get a studio cutting machine that was less costly than what was currently the proposed, buy it from the States and ship it to Canada, because I'm Canadian. And it was going to be a lot, like a boatload of money. And I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I can afford that, on and on and on. But at the time, I had an Instagram account. And one member of this group that was following me on Instagram saw me post this on this Facebook group. And she has a daughter that lives just outside our city in a neighboring town. And she said, they'd seen me at farmers markets, they'd seen me growing on Instagram, all this stuff. And so she private messaged me and said, hey, Jolene, I don't want to post this in the group because it's going to be a freaking free for all. And I see you growing your business. And I just wanted to share this link with you. It was to a marketplace listing for an Accuquilt machine. Somebody in a neighboring province, so I'm in Alberta and this person was in BC, they were selling off this Accuquilt system and it was really reasonably priced. And this lady, Mary, messaged me and said, hey, here's the Facebook marketplace listing. I hope this works out for you. I see your stuff. I hope you grow, blah, blah, blah. And so lo and behold, I got a hold of the person through their listing on Marketplace selling the system. And we worked out how to get it shipped to my house. And yes, it cost money, but she sold me the entire system for like $260. And then I had to like I had to buy my own dyes for the things that I wanted to do, but I had to pay shipping on that as well. So it was like, I don't know, $120 shipping. And she threw in everything she had, like every single thing that she had, she sold me in this listing. And when I went onto the Accuquilt site and added it up, she sold me like $3,600 worth of stuff, which is absolutely crazy. Accucut was for schools. So they were cutting paper out. It's the exact same. It's like my machine is Accucut, and but the the studio cutting machine, Accucut and Accuquilt are the same machines. It's just they did dyes for sewing after they had Accucut, because they were using Accucut in school. So they would cut out letters, and teachers would have like, the ABCs all around their classroom, or they'd cut out like a frog and all the parts to a frog, and then people would put the frog together. Like, so Accucut and Accuquilt are the same company. The studio dyes are exactly the same. So if you see an Accucut system on sale somewhere, like on Facebook Marketplace, you can buy it. And people probably don't even know what the heck it is, and then go and buy the dyes for sewing. It's the same cutting machine, honestly. Same. Okay, makes sense. So yeah, I understand that could be a few months from now, but don't worry about it. Even if it's a few months from now, I put the offer out there. The offer will stand. Okay, capiche? My sweater is very fluffy, and I may need to get another drink here because I'm parched. All right, where are we going to put this so you guys can see? Let's turn the camera around so you can see my sewing machine, and we'll get it kind of down low. I got to watch up on my screen here to see when you'll be able to see the machine. All right. Okay, I can't see my comments on my phone, so I can only see them up on my television now. So we're gonna do, we'll do 10 altogether, but just like 5 of each color. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Chelsea, you're gonna be able to see how to chain piece these. I would typically do all 40, right? At the same time, but just for simplicity on this video, we're going to make 5. Oh, you found a posting for one on Facebook. See, people don't even know what they have. How much is it? I'm dying to know. Okay, so we're going to fold in half like this. So we've got our little pleat. Always run your fingernail up through here to make sure that the fabric isn't folded. And now line up your fabric super close here. You got a straight stitch on your machine. Always reverse stitch and then come forward. And we're just going to do this as quick as we possibly can too. So we're going to try to make 5 of them here before my phone dies and the grocery order comes and I go for my 5-kilometer walk, which I actually can't wait to do because it's so nice. $800. What does it include? What's in the listing? Does it come with dyes? And I'll tell you if that's a good deal or not. Now, when you get to the point of actually shopping for something on Accuquilt, please come back to one of my videos and click on the link on the day that you want to buy, because that's how I get paid. So I think they only track for maybe 30 days. If you're clicking an Amazon link, it only works on the actual day that you click the link. So if months from now you finally, get enough money together and decide to buy this system, please come back and click on my link so that I get paid. I would really appreciate that. Okay, so Steph, is that a studio? Okay, so we're folding this in half. We're making sure, put our finger through to make sure that there's no pucker in that fabric, right? You'll thank me for that later. Take a good swath off of it. you know, 1/2 inch for these pleats. You don't want it falling apart later. Just under 1/2 inch. just the machine from a teacher. Okay, so Chelsea, you've got one that's just the machine from a teacher. So if it's just the machine, like the studio cutting machine, go on to Accuquilt and click on cutting machines and tell us how much they are in the States right now, because that might not be a deal. And Steph, which one are you seeing? Okay, so we've chain piece 10 here. What we do when we cut them apart. So this is the bottom of the pleat where we started. We want to cut the thread at the top of the next pleat. And the reason we do that is because we don't, when we open this up to sew them together, we don't want a whole bunch of loose threads on the good side. Loose threads in the middle, that's fine. So this will speed up this step for you. So clip, not at the end of the thread, but at the beginning of the thread on the next one, and clip it in nice and close. And that'll save you struggling with loose threads as you sew them round and round and round. So we're going to do this 4 times. Make sense? It's a go. Looks just like yours. Okay, mine's a studio. So if you're finding a studio cutting machine, like a studio machine like this one, if you're finding this for $300 on Facebook Marketplace, that is a good deal. I'm just going to check my computer here. Accuquilt. I'm just pulling it up here to look, you guys. Give me 1 second here. Of course, they've got like everything in the world popping up other than what you actually need on here. So the studio cutter I am seeing is $6.85 Canadian. It's on sale right now. So if you're thinking of getting one from the site, it's on sale, $100 off. So $6.85 Canadian. And they also have financing. So that's an option too. So you found 2 studios, $400 and $500. Yeah, go onto the site, because I'm not American. Go onto the site and type in studio cutter and see how much they're charging for it in the States. Because right now it's $6.85 Canadian. Let's do the conversion, US to Canada. It'd be $4.95 American. It should be, but go and look on the Accuquilt site and see. $7.50 in the US. Yeah, that's crazy. That's for the cutting machine. So if you're finding this exact cutting machine on Facebook Marketplace and you've got it in your budget, I'm telling you, used is not a bad idea. Yeah, might go back and look at it again. Yeah. Now with the Go, Chelsea, the Go only doesn't cut as many thicknesses of fabric. So that's the only issue with the machines that aren't the studio machines. They don't cut as many layers. Just letting you know. Now, some people really like the electric ones as well, because they're easier for them to use. So pick one that's going to work with what you have in mind. I like this studio because I know it's not electric. Therefore, it's not going to break and I'm not going to have to replace it. So I like that. And I like how many layers of fabric it can cut with the studio dies. So just take that into consideration. So there are ways of getting these things. People bought them, they don't want to use them, and you could get a deal, right? Like, I'm not the only person that can find stuff on Facebook Marketplace. And oftentimes you can also find the dies on Marketplace, and you could join Facebook groups. Like, go onto Facebook and look for Accuquilt groups, and there's groups all over the United States where people sell off their used equipment or used dies, or do swaps and stuff on them. So again, we're going to cut off not where the fabric ended, but where the fabric or the thread starts on the new one. So there's where it ended, and here's where it starts. So that will keep the thread out. $6.85 on the Accuquilt page. Yeah, it's not on sale right now for you guys, apparently. Dang. Because it's $6.85 for me right now on the Canadian page. Are you on my Canadian link? Because if you went through my link, you're on the Canadian page probably. So again, we're just going to do this 4 times. Make sure you do a couple back stitches at the start of this, and off we go. That's the sale price. Cool. The grand mark, does it look just like this one, Jennifer? Because that could be the paper cutting machine that schools had, but the studio dies for sewing will work on that machine. Because I believe they used to call the one that they would use in schools the Accuquilt Grand something or other. But if it looks just like this, it's the same machine. They didn't reinvent it. They just made dies that will cut for fabric projects. Because why not, right? We all went to school, right? And what's the price, Jennifer? We all went to school and they had all, the alphabet pasted up on the walls, or they had, projects that you would put together, and they had these I remember them being like gold metal pins, and they had these little fly things. So you would stick the pin out and then, fold down the metal tabs on that pin, and you would assemble things like frogs and rabbits and stuff like that. That was all cut out with this Accuquilt system, apparently. 150 used. Cool. Jennifer, if you want me to look at it to tell you whether or not that's the actual thing you need to be getting, email me the link at homestitcherydecor@gmail.com. And after the live, I will have a look for you and let you know if that's the one you would need. Fair enough? Because let's be honest, guys, like, I do a YouTube channel because I'm making money off of YouTube, which is great, right? And I'm selling things through the links, which is great. But honestly, I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to buy something used when it can save you some money just so I can make $1, because that is rude. Rude. And some people really want to start their own business, and whatever you put out for, your karma or whatever, it comes back to you. Yeah, send it over to me, Jennifer. I'm happy to have a look. So homestitcherydecor@gmail.com, and include the link, please, and I'll have a look for you. Fair enough. So that's 2 nice things I've done today. Haha. I can go for my walk with a smile and a little pep in my step, going, I'm going to help Jennifer make sure she doesn't buy some piece of crap that's not going to work for her. And when Chelsea's ready, I will cut some soup bowl cozies out for her at the price of fabric. I won't charge for my labor, and we'll ship them off to her. I think that's a pretty good day. I do not make the small ones, and the reason I don't is because most people are always asking for bigger ones, for one thing, or they're asking for plate size ones, which I haven't done. These fit on my stand, which you can all see the stands in the back there. They fit on my stands and they cut width of fabric. So my whole thing with cutting fabric for projects like this is, what is the point of cutting projects that don't cut width of fabric? I'm wasting my fabric. I'm wasting my time. And then I've got to find another project to do with that little scrap piece of fabric. So it's all about systems, repeatable processes that make you money. That's how you make the money. You get a product that goes with the fabric. You make as many of them in the same color as you can so that you're not redoing your listings. You stack them up in your booth, because if you have a full booth, people are more likely to stand there and chat. If you have an empty booth where you've only got 5 or 6 things on a table, people will just walk past you and go to a vendor that appears to have more stuff. So even if you're only going to sell 200, make 800. And you will sell, the more you have, the more you will sell, for sure. For sure. All right, we're going gangbusters here right now. Who is having a good time learning some stuff? You're welcome, Jennifer. No trouble. When I get to 100,000 subscribers, can you imagine how busy I'm going to be? You're like, oh yeah, send me an email. I'll be like, no, nobody send me an email. Coaching calls are closed. I can't take any more. You know what the thing is if there's a way to work something out, I bet you a group of women will sit down and work it out. They'll be like, I know something, she knows something, they know something, let's go. Amazing. Okay, so we've done all 4 corners. So now they look like this. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the most important part. This is the most important part. The machine I'm using now is the Husqvarna Viking Onyx 15. It was like $300. And they also have a good FAF machine. I'll put the link in the video description after I'm done editing. For the sewing machines, they also have a basic FAF that will do this. It's a pretty basic machine. This is one of the machines I had with my staff last year. So I have multiple of them around the sewing room. Okay, so now we've sewn these pleats, right? Here's the most important thing to do. I'm not lying. If you skip this step, you will regret it. Get your finger here, and you're going to push, and I mean push this dart. And this is why we do this, the back and forth stitch at the beginning and the end. We want this thing to stay together. So you're going to push with your finger, and you're going to pull, and you're going to make sure that freaking pleat is closed. Because when you get to the next step, if you've got a little piece of fabric sticking out here, you are going to deeply regret not doing this. And because we put a few, stitches here to stabilize it at the start, when we sew this around and then flip it inside out, this is not going to come apart. You don't want it to come apart. Trust me, I did that. And so just by putting a few stitches in, back stitches at the beginning and end of this, that alleviates that problem and it doesn't come apart. So push and pull, check that dart all the way up, every stitch, make sure all of your fabric is caught. If it's not, resew it. And I do this for every single soup bowl cozy. Every single time. Do not skip this step. Have I made myself clear? Is anybody confused about checking their darts? If there's any confusion now, this probably isn't the channel for you. It's like, you need the I don't listen channel. And this is the Home Stitchery Decor channel. You would, at that point, be what I call an ask hole. Anybody have any of those in their lives? Like they ask for help. See, look, I missed one. If I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have known. Nobody's perfect. And it could be just, you didn't line it up good enough. So this one's wide enough. I'm just going to pull these stitches out and redo it. But that is why you do it. I know I did not do that on purpose. I don't like redoing my work, so I did not do that on purpose. Okay, we're going to line this one up better. It happens. And that is why you check. Because once you've sewn these and you go to turn them inside out and then you see this dart isn't holding, that's when it's really freaking annoying. And see, I missed it again. My goodness. Hi, Reba. Welcome to the channel. Okay, I got it that time. That dart's good. We are chain piecing soup bowl cozies in hopes of getting some girls making some of these to make themselves some money. This is a product that I make for my business all the time, and I'm happy to share because why not? I can't make them and sell them for everybody, but if you do want to buy them from me, go ahead and check them out on my website. There's lots of them. Tons, in fact. All right, 2 more to check. So we've all seen the importance of pulling our darts. All right. Very good. Very good, very good. Okay, now what we're going to do. This is important, but not as important as checking the darts. So we've got 2 cozies. We're going to line them up right sides together. Everybody can see this. Now, of course, this one worked out perfectly. All right, so here's the fabric lined up perfectly. This is the corner you want to start on. And you want to start like a good 1.5 inches from the corner. And you're going to sew all the way around. And when you come to this next part, you're going to sew over the dart and make sure it's over the dart by like 1 inch. And you're going to leave an opening that is like from here to here. So a good 2.5 inch opening. The reason you sew exactly like this is because you don't want to be pulling stuff on the corner because it's hard on the next step to get the corner to line up. And you don't want to have an opening right over a dart because again, it's hard to line the darts up on the next step. And the other trick too is to make sure that your fabric is lined up perfectly on this first opening corner. Now, sometimes when you pull these around, you will see like the fabric is a smidge down from the batting, or it's just not lined up as nicely. You will be able to find one corner for sure where it's lined up almost perfectly. Choose that corner to have the opening, because if the fabric is off a little bit one way or the other and you turn it inside out, it makes it really hard to do the underfold on the next step. So we're going to start before the corner. We're going to finish after the dart. And we're going to take a nice wide seam on this and we're going to sew all the way around. Capiche? Any questions? As you go around, make sure that you are relining up your fabric because it will shift. And there's 4 layers of stuff here. So make sure that you are checking. If you check at each step to make sure that the fabric is lined up on the darts and lined up on the corners, you shouldn't have a problem when you turn this right way around with stuff coming apart. So make sure the inner fabric is lined up. Take a nice wide seam on it. Don't be scant because it can pull apart and it will just go better if you do it my way. So again, making sure my fabric is all lined up. You can sew your seams open if you want to. I find just tacking them down works. With this much bulk, it's not going to make that big of a difference. But you can see my fingers here. Like I will push one side to the other down And here we are at the dart, and we're just going to go past the dart and then put a bunch of stitches in, no problem. Okay, snip off your threads. Now we're going to get my favorite tool called a chopstick. Kind of fun. And we have an opening here. So we're just going to put our index finger and our, gosh, what would you call that finger next to it? Put a couple fingers into the opening, and you're going to go to the far opposite corner, and just like a sock, push the inside to that corner, and now you need to pull. And this can be hard, especially if you're a bit older, have arthritis, anything like that. So I found that this is the best way to do it, and I've made, like I said, thousands of them. Now I'm going to use my chopstick, and I'm going to push out all the corners of this. Pushing out the corners. Pushing out the corners. Okay, now, looking pretty good. We need to sew a top stitch. So now we've got our opening, and we're just going to fold the fabric in around the batting. And because our fabric was almost perfectly lined up the first time, this is going to fold really nicely around the batting. And if it doesn't, you can always lay it down, pull the batting up into any opening there. You want the batting right to the edge of the fabric, and pull it down. And because we cut those little threads off earlier, at the beginning, we don't have any threads sticking out. And this is how we're going to sew. Yeah, the Singer Heavy Duty will do this as well. I've sewn on the Singer Heavy Duty for years, these soup bowl cozies. Okay, I don't iron or anything at this point. I wiggle my seams back and forth to get the seam out to the edge. Or as I'm sewing, I will use my seam ripper, and I will show you how that works. Okay, so this is where the opening is. You want to start, I always start on like the corner before the opening. Don't start right where the opening is, because you have a chance of things puckering. And any way you can reduce things going wrong, that's the way to go. So we're just doing a nice top stitch on this. We're going to slow down, go wide at the edges where the darts are. Slow down, make sure your needle can get in there nice and easy. Doesn't matter what machine you have, that can get stuck a little bit, but you'll see, I'm sure, Chelsea, you can see this Husqvarna is sewing this quite nicely. Now my seam isn't quite to the edge that I want it to be. I've got my little seam ripper here. I'm going to stick that in the fabric and just give it a pull as I go around, nice and slow. Make sure everything's lined up. Don't rip your seams with your seam ripper. You're just sticking the edge in and giving the fabric a pull. See how the needle's a little bit stuck here? If you're going slow, this won't be a problem. If you're going too fast, problem. So just adjust it a little bit if you need to. The needle will break on those darts for sure. So go slow. Go a little bit wide at the darts so you're not getting as much bulk as right on the edge. And round and round and round we go. I don't iron. I just flip my fabric around as it needs to go. I am the boss of the fabric. That would be a good name. If anybody's thinking of starting a YouTube channel, Fabric Boss. That would be a great name for a YouTube channel. I don't know if anybody has it. There, I gave away my best business advice. So easy, right? Is this easier than what you were doing? Chelsea was telling us, or told me on a messenger thing here on my community hub, that it was taking her 2 hours to sew a soup bowl cozy. And I was like, that is ridiculous and not a viable business plan. Because it's not. Okay, now we're going to cut off all of our little threads. Here we go. Cutting off our threads. one more little thread over here. Okay, this is what it looks like. There is your finished soup bowl cozy. There's the front. So this will be a new color. I'll have this up on my website. Either today or tomorrow. I'll get it all done and get it listed onto my website. So there's the front, there's the back. Okay, make sense? Make sense? Make sense? Let's do another one. Okay, we've checked all of our darts. Make sure you check, double check, push, like push and pull, push your finger in there. Push. And make sure all your darts are sewn properly. Line your fabric up on corners. You're going to find one corner is prettier than the others. This one's not too bad. I could probably do better. I'm going to pick the best one that's visually going to turn. This is going to be the winner. Okay, this one will be the winner. So again, we're going to sew starting from here, finishing here. So we've got a nice wide opening. Back stitches, perfect. I swear to you guys, if I can do this, you can too. And I did not have a step-by-step detailed tutorial close up of like, these are the problems you are going to encounter. Here's how to do it. Here's what not to do. I did not have any of that to get started. I swore and cried and threw things around my sewing room and learned and learned and learned. And now I'm showing you how to do it. Yeah, and the more you do it, the faster you're going to get. That's right. So don't compare yourself to me today. Give your, like, just work on this one project. I think half the problem is whenever, and crafters are notorious for this, right? Because we all have, I'm sure, some form of ADD where it's like, oh, shiny object. And we all want the new stuff and the pretty stuff and the, oh, look at this fabric and oh, I can make this. And we spend 98% of our time looking at things to do and buying things to do instead of actually doing the thing that we want. And if we just sat down and did one thing until we got it great, we would make more money, have less stress, and we would be able to afford all the equipment that we needed to get to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. So find one project that you like and do it until you get awesome at it, and then add another project. Now, because I've done, thousands of these, I can make tea towels after this today, or I can make a jelly roll rug after this today, or I can have my Cricut machine going after this today. But I didn't start out like that. And I wish I had somebody that was ahead of me going, don't do that. Don't do that. Just sit down and concentrate, do the one project, get it selling, stick with it. And it's going to be harder and take longer than you thought for the first one, but each subsequent project after that is going to get easier because you've built up some skills, or you've been able to purchase better equipment that will get you going quicker. And then you're not swearing and crying and going, what the heck? And honestly, Chelsea, you're going to get there faster. And the reason I know this is because you were smart enough to say, this is taking me too long. And then you reached out and asked a question. Most of us would just struggle through it. So I kind of have a 5-minute rule. If I'm thinking about something for more than 5 minutes, I am Googling the answer, because I cannot be the only person on the planet that has had that problem. And they've probably put a YouTube video up or wrote a blog or a Reddit thread or something that solves my problem. And so just by making quicker decisions is how I'm more successful than I ever, I'm getting better, right? Like I'm more successful than I ever have been in my entire life. I make quick decisions. I delegate things, like simple as, grocery delivery. I'm not going to the grocery store today. I'm getting it delivered. Yeah, that's going to cost me $7 in a driver's tip, but I wasn't at the grocery store overspending and overthinking. And I'll be able to do more work here today. So go slow at the edge, go wide at the dart there. Round and round and round we go. We're using cotton thread. We pull out the edges with our seam ripper. If things don't look like they're pulled out far enough, we're not ironing. I used to iron. And then one day I was like, I wonder if I just pulled on this with my seam ripper, if the seam would come out. And sure enough, it did. And now I've eliminated the ironing step as well. How do we feel about this? How are we all doing? What do we think of this color? Love it? Hate it? Wish it was pink? Let's do one more. What do you do if your machine does not catch both sides at the opening? No, you always rip it out. Always. You have to think about what is the finished product. So whenever I make a mistake, and you guys have seen me make lots of mistakes on this channel already, right? With the month of lives that I've been doing here. Whenever I make a mistake, I either throw out the product or I rip it out and start over. You don't want something coming apart. You don't want a seam over a seam. You want the best quality project, the best quality finish, because you want repeat customers. And repeat customers expect quality. And if you want to sell these at 15 bucks a pop, you need to have the quality product. You need to pick nice colors of fabric. So you might need to spend, $1 or $2 a yard more on fabric than you were used to doing before. But in the end, that makes you a pile of money. I'll tell you what. So I went to, when I first knew I was going to be successful at this, I went to a craft market in like an upscale lake community, and I sold $685 worth of products. Now this was my first year doing Christmas markets. I didn't make repeatable products. I made one of this and one of that and all this stuff. That was fine. Then I was there, and there was a group, like two ladies that also had sewing at their table, but they had picked fabric that was from 1980. It all smelled of cigarette smoke and cat pee, and they didn't sell a single thing, and they were pissed. They watched all day long. Everybody came to my booth. Everybody came to my table. Everybody bought stuff from me. That's how it worked the entire day. So they made all that stuff with really crappy fabric and ugly colors that were out of style. And, they smoked their cigarettes and had like 58 cats in their house. And you could smell it. Like the whole room was filled with this. And they were pissed at me. And I'm like, you chose to do that. You chose to do that. So don't get mad at me for choosing to do that. They put all this effort into a market and couldn't sell a thing. And if they had gone to a different market, like in a different demographic of the city where people, typically smoke cigarettes and, have cats running around, they probably could have made some money. But they chose to come to like the upscale lake community where, homes are, 1.5 to $6 million. And those people have an expectation for what they're purchasing. They weren't purchasing that crap. So when you are making your projects, you need to think about who you want to sell this to. And I'll tell you right now, it's way easier to sell things to rich people than it is to sell to poor people. Which somebody's going to come on here and be like, oh my God, what a snot. Am I a snot, or am I telling you the actual God's honest truth? When you go to a craft market and you make upscale projects and you sell to people that have more disposable income, you make more money. And it comes down to every single thing you do, every single stitch you put in, buying pretty fabric. So, don't buy the basement bin like, oh my gosh, this is, I can get 20 meters of this cheap fabric that is really ugly and out of style, or I could get 10 meters of this really good quality fabric that is in style. It comes down to that. And it comes down to everything. Like, it comes down to what you wear at these markets. Like, I don't care if you only have one nice outfit, wear your freaking nice outfit every day. And if you don't have a nice outfit, and, you know, go to a freaking Value Village and buy something used instead of wearing, ratty tatty sneakers. Buy yourself a pair of black loafers. Every single thing you do, every single way you present your product, to present yourself, that is going to determine how much money you make. So if you want to, like, if you're goth and you want to make all goth products and you dress goth and put your products into the goth market, you're going to make money doing that. Like myself, dressed as a middle-aged preppy woman, probably not going to make any money at the goth market with my farmhouse soup bowl cozies. So know your market, dress and act the part, and put the effort in. Okay, let's do another one. Now my goal is to get into craft fairs for Scottsdale and Fountain Hills. That's a good goal. That's a good goal. Like if you're in a retirement community, like Scottsdale is retirement, right? A lot of retirees. You can make good money off of people that have money. Okay, lining up the corners. So Chelsea, just pick one or two projects to do, and you will be able to get there. Were you asking about affiliate program for my cards? Was that you? I think it was you. Nope, not you. Okay. On the 4 days that I was home, I started working on affiliate stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to get that going. So I know there was a couple people on here that wanted to make the cards, and we were talking about an affiliate program for that. I think I just lost a bobbin, and I'm sliding off my chair in my slippery pants again. All right. Okay, I make Christmas cards. I don't know if they're up here. I don't have them for sale even on my website right now, I don't think. But my Christmas cards, I make all kinds of cards, like thank you, Mother's Day, all that. And I have a Christmas card collection, and essentially I'm going to open up an affiliate program for people to sell the designs. So we're going to, you need to have a Cricut machine. So you could start social media, and you can do things like I do here, make them live, and then you'll have an affiliate link. Just like I've told you, I have an affiliate link for this Accuquilt machine, right? So I'm trying to get that set up. And it's a little bit more work than I thought it was going to be, but I think it could be lucrative for everybody, and the designs sell really well. So I'm going to do up a package of cards. I basically think I'm going to do like my whole collection of cards like in one big package. It will be for sale for a certain price. The affiliates will have a discount code that they can offer to their audience, and then they'll receive a percentage of the sales as they come through. And that's all through my Shopify store as well. But it's taking a little bit of time to get that set up, and I had some other things on the go. Of course I did. Because it's Christmas market season and I need to sew like a mad woman here to make sure I have enough projects or enough products for my market. So basically you would share content, you'd be given assets, and assets are things like Instagram posts, Pinterest pins that you can post to your Pinterest account, and then you would be able to share a link, and or you could start your own TikTok, make the cards all day long on your TikTok account with the link, and sell the designs and receive commissions. Make sense? And you would also be able to make the designs and take them to a market. So last week I had a meeting with a business coach and worked on a bunch of stuff to get myself also to the next level, because I'm here. But of course, once you get to where this is, you want to be at the next level because that's fun. So you never really celebrate because you're always raising the bar, which is kind of self-destructive. But what can I say? One day I will be able to retire off of all of this, and so I'm just going to put the work in consistently and keep leveling myself up. Perfect. We're going to do one more and then we're going to end this live. I don't know how much battery I have on my phone. Probably not too much. I want to be able to listen to my podcast while I go walk my 5K, which will be good because it is actually beautiful out today. Okay, so here's 4. One more mixed bath. What are you girls going to do today after we're done this live? Do we have any questions? Now is the time to ask. Don't forget, if you're watching the channel, if you join the channel, you'll be entered into the members only draw, which is a $500 gift pack of all kinds of things that we've sewn, magnets, the jelly roll tube maker, a jelly roll rug, and the FAF Quilters Kit gift box, which includes 2 quilting rulers, a rotary cutter, rotary blades, 2 packs of needles, and a rotating cutting mat. So if you're one of the founding members of the channel, when we reach 150 paid members of the channel, we will do a draw for that members only gift pack. You'll have to give me your address if you win, and I will send you off the gift pack. It's valued right now at 500 Canadian dollars. You can join the channel by just on your main screen there. You should see a join button. You can go back to the channel itself, and right next to subscribe, you'll see the join button, or you can follow the link in the video description and click join there as well. And as we grow the channel, we're going to do more fun things like this and start building a huge community. Okay, I listened to Modern Wisdom, but were you asking yesterday for like inspirational podcasts, Michelle? Or sorry, not Michelle, Chelsea? I think yesterday when we were doing that live last night, you were asking for inspirational podcasts, and then I didn't answer the question, and I forgot to answer it. And then when I did the live, I was talking about like how I got started and I was listening to podcasts, but then I didn't give you the inspirational podcast that I was listening to when that all started. I think that was you that asked that question. And see, I didn't make my opening big enough. That is what you get when you don't pay attention. And now it's like the worst sock ever. Okay, I got it. And that is why you put those stitches in, because when you're yanking on this thing that hard, the chances of a seam popping apart while you're doing it are pretty high. So make sure you put the back stitches in. Anyway, if you were, the podcast that I'm listening to is Modern Wisdom with Chris Williamson. I listen to that one when I'm walking. And then I was at that time, like years ago when I first started my business, I was listening to The School of Greatness with Lewis Howes a lot. And then essentially, when you start listening to these podcasts, you listen to people that are on the podcast, and typically those people have their own media as well. So if you listen to something and it resonates with you, then you just go and follow that other person. And that's kind of how you find all these really cool podcasts. So right now I'm deep down the rabbit hole with Chris Williamson. But I also listen to Alex Hormozy all the time. I listen to Naval Ravikant. He's pretty great. I listen to Ali Abdel. He's pretty great. I listen to, like, on YouTube, what is it? Think Media. I listen to them. But for inspirational, I started with Lewis Howes, Howes, I believe is how it's spelled. And it's called The School of Greatness. And podcasts are free, you guys. As long as you're not using overusing your data. All kinds of this stuff is free. And sometimes you're listening to stuff and you think, oh, this is way ahead of where I'm at. Keep listening. I encourage you to keep listening. Don't turn it off, because it might be like you are 5, 10, 15 years behind where those people are at. But I guarantee you're going to find something of value in it. And then go down that rabbit hole and listen to the people that they are talking about. And then your learning and your growth just multiplies, because what you spend your time doing is what you emulate. You want to get somewhere quicker? Go, just literally start acting like the person you want to be. That's all it is, on repeat. You were talking cupcakes and then telling you to stack products using the same fabric for multiple items. I don't know what that is. You were talking cupcakes. Oh, I was probably talking about cupcake trainings at one point. Okay, I think this is what we're talking about. I think I know what you're talking about here, because I went down a rabbit hole for this the other day. Okay, hang on a second. I'm going to turn my camera around. Do I have a sip of coffee yet? Oh, I do. That's all I'm making for this live. Okay, this one here. All right, I'm going to turn my camera around. So you'll get the back end of me. I've got to close the low battery mode. And I'm going to have to hold my camera for this part. Close. Okay, so I used to follow this girl named Renee Christine. And she had cupcake trainings, and she had a course, and she taught things on Amazon and all kinds of stuff. So she was, when I first started listening to her, she was telling us about, having 10 coordinating products and to have mix and match fabrics. So you always got the upsell, everything like that. So, she was big. Like, she had a freaking podcast. She had like a website thing that you loaded up that was like going to do automatic email systems. She was selling that at one point. She was selling a course at one point. Like, it was crazy how big she was. And then she, I believe, got involved with this guy named Sam from Just One Dime, who was trying to teach Amazon FBA sellers how to scale up Amazon something, and he was a total scammer. And I believe she got involved with him, although I can't find anything on the internet about it right now. It's like it's all been swiped. But I was like, I'm pretty sure she got involved with this guy because like I remember her talking about it. So anyways, then last week when I was home, I was sick for a couple of days, right? So I didn't go camping on the first day. I was home and I was upstairs, like on my couch, and I basically couldn't lift my arms to like do any work. So I thought I'm going to go down this thing and find out where this lady like went to, because it seems so weird for like all of her content to be basically wiped. So I did. And essentially, I think she got married to this guy named Tom. And like it's a funny story, but she had like all kinds of staff and everything, and then all of a sudden she met this guy named Tom on the internet, and she moved to Vegas and was like living in a hotel with this guy Tom. And I was like, okay, that was really weird. And then her stuff disappeared and blah blah blah. And then she was doing homesteading for a while, so she had like a farm and was doing homesteading, but all of her content like gonzo. So I went and looked, and sure enough, like all of her content is basically wiped. And this Tom guy, he has a YouTube channel, but he is like, I don't want to get sued for defamation or anything, but he's really into praying and stuff. And I think what's happened is they're extremely religious, and she's staying at home now. So, but to me, it makes no sense because she had so much stuff out there and training courses that she could be building on, like where she sold like expensive courses and stuff and did podcasts and did YouTube videos. Like it was everywhere, and now it's just wiped. And if you have a successful YouTube channel, people will find your content. Like if it's evergreen content and you're talking about things that are still valuable, people are going to find that years from now. So why that would get completely wiped off the face of the planet is like totally beyond me. But she was very clever at what she was doing with her business at the time, and I have implemented a lot of what she was telling us to do. I didn't buy her course, but because I didn't have the money, but I did implement a lot of what she was saying to do on these podcasts and YouTube videos and stuff. And that's some of this, of course, has trickled down into what I teach now, right? Because everything you learn, it's like there's no new ideas. You just repurpose it and recycle it into something that makes sense for somebody else. I don't know. Is she on Facebook? Because I didn't see her anything on Facebook. Um, I didn't see anything on Facebook either, which is crazy. Let me go check because now I'm like really curious. Renee Christine, or is this like the Facebook page that she used to have? So weird, hey? I don't know why. Just typing in Renee Christine. There's a consulting agency. Everything she did was like cupcake trainings. Has anybody looked to see if there's like cupcake trainings? Like I had signed up for it was OHOW, her website for email stuff. At one point, I like paid the monthly fee, and then that just stopped working. No, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all. Crazy. Yeah, I don't know what happened to her. But anyway, I have mix and match products. That's something that she taught us to do, to have upsell products. Very clever. I got onto that right away. So that was very clever. And I firmly believe you should do that. Although I say to people, start with one product, because if you get too many products in your head, you're not going to, you're not going to make it. So get one product selling before you add another product, for sure. All right. So we are at 8% phone life again. So I'm going to have to actually charge this phone up before I can even go for my walk. Boo hoo. Or I'm not going to be able to listen to my podcast. Anyway, that's it for today's live video. I don't know if I'll come back live today, but let's try to do a live tomorrow Why don't we say 11 a.m. my time? So a little bit later. Steph can sleep in if she wants to, and I'll figure out something to make tomorrow. But I'm going to go for my walk, and then I'm going to get these 40 soup bowl cozies done up here today. So come back tomorrow and hold me accountable. Did she actually get those done? Yeah, so that's crazy cool. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. This is turning into like just an awesome experience having you guys around. Happy Thursday. Happy walking, and everyone enjoy the day. Haha to sleeping in. Have a lovely walk. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I appreciate that. Out in midday here, we got to charge a phone, and yeah, that'll be it for today. Okay, so I'll come back on tomorrow, 11 a.m. my time, Mountain Daylight Time, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye. Have a good one.